Namanda, Vits Namanda, Vits Namanda, Vits Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Good morning. Welcome to our virtual service. My name is Tara, and I would like to thank you for attending this morning's Dharma family service. We'll begin this service with a moment of quiet sitting. Reverend C.J. Dunford will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and prepare to hear the Dharma. Then they will strike the bell again, and we will continue with the service.
Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.
Reverend CJ will now lead us in the chanting of the Junirai.
Eshu tenin shokugyo Amida sen ryozoku son Zaihi mime anrakok Muryo bushi shuine Konshiki shinjō sen no Shamata gyō zobu Ryomoku jōnyaku shōrenge Koga chōrai midason Mensen nen shōnyo mangan Iko yunyo sen nichigan Shōnyo tenkuku shira Koga chōrai midason Kannon chodai kanchi ujiu Shuju meusou hou shogun Nobuku kedo makeman 子が将来乱そう無美無苦高症状習得経験女国小さ利益徳自在子が将来乱そう実法名門菩薩衆無料小魔女三段一生主張がNICHI子が将来乱そう根体保険師匠家前言症状命大座お膝上予選の子が将来乱そう実法将来勝負し権限人図し安楽戦後尊厳職業子が将来乱そう小無常無我と薬尿水眼天尿路一種説法無名字子が将来乱そう非尊無説無悪名薬無尿になく道夫主任死心教非尊子が将来乱そう非尊無料法勉強無償修悪知識往生不体死亡大子が将来乱そう我説非尊苦毒寺修善無変尿海水小逆戦言症状者衛生種上昇非公ナマンダブナマンダ 도훈보다 희신 오조 Namanda, Vitsnamanda, 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 Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Please join us in the singing of the Gatha Arigato.
say thank you for the path so brightly lit, guides me safely through this day. And I thank you so, and I thank you so, for this love we all share. I offer as I am these words of thanks every day.
Please join me in reciting the Golden Chain 2. Golden Chain 2. I am a link in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We will now have a Dharma talk by Reverend CJ.
morning. I'd like to start my Dharma message with some words from Shinran, our founder. Please join me in Gassho. Truly we know it is a great torch on the long night of ignorance. Why should we sorrow that our eyes of wisdom are dark? Amida's vow is a great torch in the long night of ignorance. We should reflect that although our wisdom eyes are dark, we need not despair. It is a great ship in the vast ocean of birth and death. Why should we grieve that our karmic hindrance is heavy? The power of Amida's vow is a great ship upon the vast ocean of birth and death. Seikaku states that we should not grieve that our existence is one of greatest evil, deep and heavy. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. The passage that I just shared comes from Shinran's notes on the inscriptions of sacred scrolls. Here, Shinran is explaining an inscription in praise of Hoin Seikaku, one of Honen's disciples and Shinran's peers. Shinran's explication also touches profoundly on the difficulty of our shared human experiences, especially as Pure Land Buddhists. I find a connection in this understanding that we are in such a limiting place as human beings. With another master, Shan Dao's two aspects of deep mind. On the one hand, when we consider our human nature deeply, things can feel quite hopeless. Our eyes of wisdom are dark, and we carry such deep and heavy evil karma. If we dwell too deeply on this fact, it can be quite disheartening. Shinran and Seikaku both conjure the imagery of a long dark night and being lost at sea to convey these feelings. The other aspect of Shandao's deep mind is the fact that, due to our limitedness, our profoundly heavy karma, our desperate need, we are precisely the ones that Amida will save without question. The description of Amida's vow as a torch on the long night of ignorance is one that holds a deep meaning for me personally. When I was a child, I frequently would suffer from night terrors and sleep paralysis. Sometimes I would have such vivid dreams that I would become lucid in the middle of some nightmares in particular. And during those times, I desperately wanted to awaken. Sometimes I could wake up, but I'd be stuck in my bed in the dark, unable to move and frozen by the fears lingering in my mind from my dreams. Monsters and terrors lurked in the dark corners of my room, the closet, and under my bed. At this time in my life, and even still today, sometimes nightfall is terrifying, full of mystery, uncertainty, and time often feels like it stands still in the darkness. When I think about these moments in my life, all of the terror of my childhood, I feel a lot of pity and love for little CJ. And I can also connect both of those feelings of fear at night and the compassion I feel towards my former self to the idea of a long and dark night that Shinran and Seikaku conjure in this passage. And I can also understand the sense of desperation, of wanting to escape. In the midst of that desperation, however, we are urged not to fall into hopelessness, because the light of Amida Buddha is there to guide us through the darkness as a torch. Maybe also, in just a small way, the compassion that I feel for my child self might be similar to the compassion that Amida feels for all of us, who may be like frightened children enduring nightmares in the long night of our lives. The mystery and unknowableness of a pitch-black night can fill our imaginative minds with horrible things. The slightest sensation might conjure up fears of violence. We may think of terrible beasts or other horrid things stalking us in the shadows. But when a beam of light reveals the way out of the darkness, it's much like waking up in the bright and shining sun after a night of troubled sleep. Birdsong, which most usually comes with the breaking of the dawn, too, can pull us from this long and fearful night, much like the hearing the calling of the voice, Namo Amida Butsu, echoing in our ears, pulling us from the darkest depths of our imagination. Living our lives as Shin Buddhists is all about balance in our awareness and in our imagination. While it's absolutely crucial for us to understand the difficulty of our position in life as foolish beings with no means of attaining liberation from this world of suffering on our own, it's equally important for us to rely on the hope of Amida Buddha and the primal vow. Oftentimes, I feel myself wandering in the dark of my own ignorance and drowning in the generations of heavy karma that weigh me down. For me, these inhibitions manifest themselves as harmful assumptions and norms around race, gender, relationships, and love. These and more stories I internalize about myself and others, and they make the world confusing and frightening, rigid and painful. When those terrible things begin to make life feel unbearable, that I will never be anything more than the stories handed to me by my ancestors, I try to learn and return to the liberating light and life of the vow. The light of the Buddha and the guidance of the vow reveal the truth of this world, both the shadows of our troubled, incapable selves, alongside the hope of a better world, that of the Pure Land, where we hold the potential to live in safety and in equality. The meaning of the torch and the great ship of the vow is that this light of non-discrimination is here to open our eyes to awakening, and via the ferry, the great ship of that wisdom, to deliver us from the murky and bewildering sea of heavy karma in this world of transmigration that extends back through countless existences beyond our own conceptions of time. It's absolutely true that our imaginations can be a powerful source of both despair, but also of hope and wisdom. The light of the vow allows us to rein in the imaginations that we have when they become a source of terror and overwhelm. When we rely only on our own eyes in the darkness of our ignorance, then we might lose hope, drowning in a sea of our own monsters called fear and doubt. However, the light of wisdom and compassion that emanates from Buddha and the vow of non-discrimination reveals the reality of our situation, providing us with comfort and clarity, and even more importantly, the promise and the imaginary of the Pure Land of equality, a world where we all live in peace, harmony, and where we can all walk the path of liberation together, hand in hand, as friends, as fellow travelers, and as family. Please join me in Gassho as I share the words of Shinran once more. Truly we know it is a great torch in the long night of ignorance. Why should we sorrow that our eyes of wisdom are dark? Amida's vow is a great torch on the long night of ignorance. We should reflect that, although our wisdom eyes are dark, we need not despair. It is a great ship on the vast ocean of birth and death. Why should we grieve that our karmic hindrance is heavy? The power of Amida's vow is the great ship upon the vast ocean of birth and death. Seikaku states that we should not grieve that our existence is one of greatest evil, deep and heavy. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you for letting me share my Dharma message.
Thank you, Reverend CJ, for your wonderful Dharma message today. I will now read the announcements that have been submitted. If you have any announcements to be read at the Sunday service to be included in the announcement slide, please send it to the temple office by Friday before the service. So we have on Sunday, August 7th at 9:30 a.m., we'll have the combined August and September Shotsuki Memorial Service. The temple will be on summer break beginning August 8th. So the Sunday services will resume on Sunday, September 11th. All right, so now I will read the thank you announcements. Thank you, Reverend CJ, for officiating this morning's service and for your Dharma message today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bradley and Myron, for their help today during the live stream service. Thank you, Bradley and Myron. Thank you, Tony and Ryan, for monitoring the chat room on our YouTube channel. Thank you, Emiko-san and the music team for the beautiful music for the Gatha. And thank you to the COVID-19 committee for helping keep our members safe. And thank you to everyone who joined our service today. And that concludes today's live stream service. Thank you for attending, and see you next Sunday.